Today, the 1st of August, Archangel Michael says, you must open this now. This is a spiritual emergency. The one who tried to harm you, their name, has been revealed, hidden in the shadows for so long. But now, divine light has exposed the truth. This isn't just a warning, it's a heavenly command. Jesus is urging you. Don't delay. Something very serious is unfolding. And your name is at the center of it. You were not supposed to find this by accident. The angels have been watching you, guiding you here. Because the moment has arrived. Within the next 30 seconds, a shift will begin. And your soul must be prepared. This is no ordinary message. This is a wake-up call from heaven. Your destiny is being touched by divine hands right now. And what you do in this moment could change everything. Breathe. Stay open. And listen closely. Archangel Michael stands with his sword of divine fire. Not as a symbol of war, but as a guardian of your soul's truth. He has seen what others tried to hide. Whispers in the darkness. Secret intentions. Silent betrayals masked behind smiles. The heavens have recorded everything. You may have felt tired lately. Burdened for no clear reason. As if something invisible is draining you. That's not your imagination. It is spiritual interference, sent by those who fear your awakening. But today, on August 1st, that interference ends. Divine authority is being reasserted. The spiritual court has passed its judgment. And Archangel Michael is here to deliver it. He's not here to scare you. He's here to empower you. Because you're not weak. You're chosen. You may wonder. Why you? Why now? It's because your name has echoed in the angelic realms, a cry for help, a call for justice, and a plea from your soul for clarity. You've been asking for signs. You've been begging for peace. Heaven has heard you. And this message is the response. Something significant is about to be revealed, perhaps through a dream, a conversation, or an unexpected message. And when it comes, you will feel it in your chest, like a warm energy spreading through your heart. That is your confirmation. That is your signal. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this. There are no coincidences in the spiritual realm. That inner tugging you've been feeling, the sudden emotions, the random memories surfacing. They're not random at all. They're divine signals, quietly preparing you for what's about to shift. Heaven is orchestrating a realignment in your favor, even if your physical reality hasn't caught up yet. The delays, the confusion, the moments where everything seemed still, those were sacred pauses. Divine timing is not late, it's deliberate. And today, August 1st, marks the turning of that divine clock in your life. You've walked through fire, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and you may have felt like no one truly saw your pain. But the angels did. Especially Michael. He watched over you during those nights when you couldn't sleep. When the weight of everything felt unbearable. And now, he's delivering the breakthrough. It may not come in thunder and lightning, it may arrive in a whisper, in the stillness, in the clarity of a sudden knowing. Be attentive. Stay aware. Because your soul is about to remember something it forgot, its power, its purpose, and its protection. The realm of angels doesn't speak with noise, it speaks with nudges. You may feel drawn to a certain song, a scent that reminds you of someone who's passed on, or a sudden shift in your emotions that seems to come from nowhere. That's not your imagination. That's how divine messengers get your attention. Archangel Michael says you are currently surrounded by unseen energies, some divine, some deceptive. That's why Jesus is urgently calling you today, not in fear, but in truth. Something is unfolding spiritually around you, and your awareness is key. Even in moments where you felt completely alone, Archangel Michael stood guard. There were nights when darkness tried to creep in through doubt, through fear, through thoughts that were never yours to carry. But every time, a shield was raised. You didn't know it, but there was a hand holding back what could have destroyed you. That divine intervention is what kept you alive, kept you grounded, and brought you to this very moment, right here, right now, hearing this message. That's not a coincidence. That's alignment. There's a powerful truth you need to hear now, because the next phase of your spiritual journey has already begun. Archangel Michael says someone has been whispering your name, but not in prayer. In envy, in hidden spiritual attacks. Their intentions may be masked behind smiles, but in the realm of spirit, everything is seen. Jesus is commanding your soul to awaken, not with fear, but with fierce awareness. You are being shown the signs for a reason. Ignoring them now could leave the doorway open for energy that doesn't belong to you. You might have noticed your sleep being disturbed, vivid dreams, or sudden feelings of heaviness in your chest without any medical reason. These are not random, they are energetic signals that you're under divine observation. Archangel Michael is guarding you. But now, you must take a conscious step. The battle is no longer external, it's energetic, spiritual, invisible to the eyes but clear to the soul. That's why Jesus is asking for your full attention now. The next 30 seconds are not about time, they are about alignment. What you choose in spirit now will ripple into everything that follows. Archangel Michael now reveals something urgent. A shadow has been tracking your steps, not physically, but spiritually. It is a presence that was invoked by jealousy, resentment, or an unspoken curse from someone who once smiled in your face. But heaven does not allow harm without first giving a warning. This is that warning. You're being given insight, not to fear, but to prepare. The shield of divine light is being extended over your path, but it requires your agreement in faith. Jesus is commanding your awareness because the window of protection is open now, but it may close if you remain passive. This is why you felt that sudden chill earlier today, or why your heart skipped a beat when you heard your name in silence. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations that your spirit is awakening at this divine hour. Michael is battling what you cannot see. But you must stay spiritually alert. This message has reached you at the exact moment your soul became ready to receive it. You're not late. You're right on time. But the decision to embrace the light or fall into delay, that moment is now. There are forces trying to influence your mind, through distractions, through sudden tiredness, through unnecessary conflict with those closest to you. These are tactics meant to pull you away from this message. But Archangel Michael has pierced through the noise to reach you. He says, you must be still. Be quiet. Listen with the ears of your spirit. Right now, your soul is being calibrated with truth. The truth that something in the spiritual realm has been shifting for days, but today, it reaches its turning point. What was sent to stop you is losing power. But you must not return to the habits or thoughts that once drained your energy. Michael warns that returning to old cycles is like reopening a spiritual door you've just locked. Jesus is standing at the threshold of that door now, waiting for your consent to fully seal it shut. He will not force it. But he is commanding your attention because this opportunity won't repeat in the same way. It's time to choose protection over hesitation. Faith over fear. Light over confusion. Archangel Michael reveals, there is a divine scroll in heaven, your name has been freshly written on it. This isn't just symbolic. It means heaven has issued a new decree concerning your destiny. But with every divine decree, the enemy launches resistance. That resistance often comes disguised as unnecessary delays, as doubts creeping in during your quietest moments, or even as people suddenly pulling away from you without explanation. But Michael says these are not losses. These are divine removals. Heaven is uncluttering your path, even if it feels painful. Because where God is sending you next requires clarity. You cannot carry old wounds, old expectations, or old timelines. Archangel Michael wants you to feel the weight lifting now. A spiritual cord is being severed, a cord that tied your energy to a past version of yourself. You are being called to walk forward lighter, wiser, and fully covered. But the final unlocking of this next phase requires something more. A quiet agreement from your heart. A whisper of yes to what Jesus is now preparing. At this very moment, Archangel Michael is drawing his sword, not in defense, but in declaration. He is standing before the throne of God, lifting your name into divine light. You see, in the realms of angels, every name carries a frequency. Your name is vibrating with a new code, a new spiritual assignment. That's why the enemy has been attacking your sleep, disturbing your peace, and trying to distract your soul with chaos. Because once you fully step into this next level of awareness, you'll become a force they can no longer manipulate. Michael says that your prayers, even the ones you whispered through tears, have not gone unnoticed. Jesus himself stood up when your soul cried out for help. And that's when this new heavenly order was released. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but in the spirit realm, angels have already been dispatched. Their wings are moving in synchronization with your surrender. The more you trust, the faster they move. And right now, they are surrounding you with divine intelligence, clearing paths that were once blocked, softening hearts that were once cold, and preparing rooms you didn't even know were being built for you. Archangel Michael now brings you a truth that cannot be ignored. Your destiny has been under divine surveillance. For a long time, you felt like no one truly saw your heart, like your purpose was buried beneath burdens too heavy to carry. But in the spiritual realm, your cries created a sound wave so powerful, it reached the halls of heaven. And Jesus, yes, the Messiah, the Lamb of God, stood and said, "This one belongs to me." That single declaration changed the entire rhythm of your live's timeline. What was once delayed is now being accelerated. What was once denied is now being re-anointed. Right now, a divine scroll is being opened with your name written across it. This isn't poetic, it's prophetic. The angels are reading your spiritual assignments aloud, confirming the battles you've won, even the ones you weren't aware you were fighting. Some of those battles were fought in dreams. Others were fought in moments when you chose silence instead of anger, forgiveness instead of revenge. Archangel Michael says heaven took note of it all. And now, because of your silent obedience, a sacred gate is opening. This isn't just any gate. This is a divine passageway into the next phase of your purpose, one designed before you were even born. But beware, as the light increases, shadows will try to creep closer. The enemy will sense the movement and attempt to cause fear or confusion. Archangel Michael reminds you, fear is not your portion. Confusion is not your inheritance. Peace is your weapon. Stillness is your shield. Every time you feel anxious or restless, take it as a sign that something powerful is being stirred in the unseen. The spirit realm is shifting, and your soul is aligning with heaven's rhythm. And yes, even now, someone who hurt you is being nudged by the Holy Spirit. They are being urged to make peace, not just with you, but with God. This is part of the healing cycle you didn't even ask for, but it's being gifted to you. Restoration is on its way, not just emotionally, but spiritually and financially. The angels are preparing a reversal of loss and a recovery of purpose. Archangel Michael is lifting his hand now, and as he does, legions of angels are being commanded to escort you safely through this next spiritual threshold. You are not alone. You are not unguarded. You are not forgotten. Archangel Michael now reveals something sacred. There are timelines in your life that were once hijacked by darkness. Moments that should have blossomed were stolen, relationships that should have healed were instead torn, and blessings that were once within reach were suddenly delayed without explanation. But heaven did not forget. The book of remembrance was opened, and your name was found written in gold. Every injustice, every betrayal, every closed door that left you in tears, it has been documented, not for punishment, but for restoration. The angels have not been idle, they've been waiting for divine timing to restore what was yours by birthright. There are certain dates in your life that are about to become sacred anniversaries, not of pain, but of divine turnaround. The same place where you once felt rejected will now become the place where you're celebrated. The same voice that once spoke against you will now testify for you. And the same emptiness you felt in your heart will be replaced with a supernatural fullness that words can barely describe. Archangel Michael says, you were never forgotten. You were simply being hidden for a divine unveiling. Right now, God is peeling back the veil between the physical and spiritual. You may begin to feel things more intensely. Certain places may suddenly feel spiritually heavy or light. Certain people may trigger a knowing deep inside you, an awareness that can't be explained with logic. This is not your imagination. This is discernment being activated by heaven. You're not just living anymore, you're navigating spiritual landscapes with angelic guidance. Michael also says that prophetic dreams will now increase. You may wake up with symbols, numbers, or locations in your memory. Don't ignore them. These are messages. Some will be warnings. Others will be confirmations. And in rare cases, some may be direct glimpses into future events, given to you not to control, but to prepare and to pray. You are being trusted with heavenly intelligence. Honor that trust. And for those who are tired, for those whose hearts feel like they're losing strength, Michael places his hand over your chest even now. Feel the warmth? That's not imagination, it's impartation. Divine energy is entering your spirit, renewing what the world has drained. You are being restored. Piece by piece. Layer by layer. Glory by glory. Archangel Michael now speaks of the silent contracts that were made in the spirit realm without your permission. These are the covenants your ancestors unknowingly agreed to, contracts of limitation, suffering, fear, and cycles of poverty and heartbreak. Some of these contracts were signed out of desperation. Others were deceived into them through false teachings or spiritual confusion. But because you carry their bloodline, the weight of those agreements has lingered over you, creating invisible barriers that seem to return no matter how much you pray or strive. But hear this clearly, those contracts are being burned now. Archangel Michael, with his blazing sword of divine authority, has stepped into the ancestral courtrooms. He has identified every unauthorized spiritual agreement tied to your lineage. And with the command of the Most High, he has declared them null and void. You may feel a lightness, a sudden release in your chest or your back, even tears for no reason. This is deliverance unfolding. The chains you never saw are falling one by one. This is why the warfare in your life intensified lately. It wasn't punishment, it was the final shaking before the cords broke. You were feeling the resistance of the enemy as they realized you were waking up. Archangel Michael says, your awakening is dangerous to darkness. That's why attacks increased. That's why your mind was under siege. That's why relationships crumbled and people turned cold. It was spiritual warfare cloaked in daily life. But now the tide is turning. Heaven is now giving you something called spiritual jurisdiction. This means your prayers are no longer just hopeful requests, they are legal decrees in the courtrooms of heaven. Your words have weight. Your worship creates earthquakes in the spirit. Your declarations summon angels. You are not small. You are not weak. You are a recognized voice in heaven. And Michael wants you to start speaking like one. Speak blessings over your name, even when you feel broken. Declare restoration over your family, even if they mock your faith. Call forth provision, even when your bank account trembles. Your words are not floating, they are forging spiritual blueprints that angels are building upon. What you speak today will shape what you walk into tomorrow. And erase the final mystery of this section. Someone from your past, perhaps long forgotten, is being stirred by heaven. They hold a key to your next elevation. Not because you need them, but because God ordained their role before either of you understood your destinies. You will not have to chase them. They will be sent. And when the moment comes, peace will confirm it, not confusion. Archangel Michael now draws your attention to your dreams, those strange visions in the night, the symbols that repeat, the faces that feel familiar yet distant. These are not mere figments of imagination. They are encrypted messages from the spiritual realm. Every dream you've had lately where you were flying, falling, being chased, or walking through unknown cities has meaning. They are spiritual codes trying to awaken the part of you that remembers your divine assignment. The reason some of your dreams feel intense, even disturbing, is because spiritual warfare doesn't sleep. Your spirit leaves your body during deep rest to attend to assignments in the unseen world. Michael reveals that some of you are fighting off entities in your dreams that have been trying to influence your waking decisions. But the good news is this: you've been winning battles you didn't even know you were fighting. That constant fatigue? That's not just stress, it's the residue of spiritual wars. But you are being renewed now. The angels are ministering to your soul even as you listen to this. And listen closely. If you've been dreaming about doors, staircases, or hidden rooms, this is a direct message. The doors represent new opportunities divinely scheduled for you. The staircases are your spiritual ascension. And the hidden rooms are the parts of your destiny that are just now being unlocked. Archangel Michael says, your soul remembers what your mind forgot. That's why you're feeling this pull, this ache, as if something massive is approaching. It is. Michael also reveals that heaven has started revealing truths in your dreams about people around you. If you dream of someone acting strangely or harming you, do not brush it off. Heaven may be warning you. And if you dream of light, waterfalls, or being handed scrolls, rejoice. These are confirmations of your spiritual promotion. Now pay close attention to this moment. If you feel goosebumps, chills, or sudden stillness, that's not coincidence. That's the Holy Spirit confirming these messages. And Archangel Michael wants you to know that from this moment forward, your dream life will become sharper. Heaven is lifting the veil. Expect more vivid visions. Keep a journal by your bed. Because soon, you'll start receiving names, dates, locations, and prophetic insights in your sleep. And one more thing, someone very close to you in the spirit has already been praying for you without your knowledge. A grandmother in heaven. A great uncle. An old friend who crossed over early. Their prayers were never buried. They still echo through time. And now, as Archangel Michael stands guard beside your soul, those intercessions are coming to harvest. You were never forgotten, not by heaven, not by your bloodline, and certainly not by God. Archangel Michael now turns your focus to divine timing, the unseen clock of heaven that governs every breakthrough, delay, and redirection in your life. Many of you have been frustrated, asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Why is my blessing taking so long? But what you must understand is that heaven never denies, it prepares. The delays you thought were punishments were actually layers of protection, saving you from doors you weren't ready to walk through. There are blessings with your name on them, sealed with divine fire, waiting in spiritual vaults. But Michael reveals, heaven never delivers what could destroy you prematurely. That relationship that ended, that job opportunity that ghosted you, that sudden closed door, it wasn't rejection. It was divine redirection. The angels rerouted you not to deprive you, but to align you with a higher frequency of destiny. And right now, you are standing at the threshold of divine timing. Archangel Michael says you're not late, you're right on schedule for the greatest chapter of your life. Everything that seemed to fall apart was actually falling into a secret rhythm, a sacred alignment. The betrayal you endured, the silence you wrestled with, the tears you cried in hidden places, they were seeds planted into the soil of divine patience. And now, heaven is shifting the season. You are about to witness what happens when divine timing meets spiritual maturity. Michael shows that your name has now been activated in a celestial registry. This means angels are being dispatched with instruction scrolls tied to your current prayers. Some of these scrolls hold supernatural strategies, unexpected phone calls, surprise releases of money, reconciliations that seemed impossible, and even revelations of who your true tribe is. But listen carefully, Archangel Michael warns that not everyone will recognize the timing on your life. Some will try to pull you back into old cycles out of familiarity or fear. That's why you're being instructed to protect your peace in this next phase. Watch your environment. Heaven can't bless chaos. You must prepare a still place within yourself to receive this divine momentum. Michael is now whispering, you will know it is time because everything will suddenly click. The confusion will vanish. The anxiety will break. And what once felt impossible will flow like water. So take heart. Divine timing is not passive waiting. It is sacred positioning. And you, beloved soul, are now in position. Archangel Michael now draws your spirit into the realm of divine justice, the higher law of heaven that never sleeps. While earthly systems may delay or deny justice, heaven's courtroom always sees. And now, your case is being reviewed. Michael reveals that there were situations in your past where you were wronged deeply, betrayed, overlooked, slandered, used, or even spiritually attacked by those who masked themselves in light. And yet, you chose not to retaliate. You chose to rise in grace, to walk away in peace. Heaven took note of that. And today, Archangel Michael confirms, your restraint has become your reward. He shows a vision of your name written in divine fire on the altar of heavenly justice. Angelic scribes have documented your tears, your patience, your silent endurance. Every accusation that was thrown at you unjustly, every false friend who celebrated your downfall, every silent cry that echoed only in the spirit realm, it has now become evidence in your favor. You were never forgotten. In fact, the delay in your vindication was not neglect, it was preparation for a public restoration that cannot be denied. Divine justice is not about revenge, it's about restoration. It's about balance. It's about heaven saying, what was stolen from you will now be returned sevenfold, and what was broken will be restored in a form more glorious than before. But there is more. Michael warns, as justice comes, so will divine exposure. Certain hidden things are about to be brought into the light, not to shame you, but to free you. The truth that was hidden is being unlocked by angelic keys. Secrets that kept you bound in confusion or fear will no longer hold power. Truth will liberate you. And you will see how God was working behind the scenes the entire time. Michael also speaks of justice in relationships. Where you gave your heart and it was mishandled, where you were loyal and got lies in return, there is now a heavenly decree being issued: enough. You will no longer be attached to people who don't honor your soul. You are being aligned with those who see your light without trying to dim it, who support your calling without competing, who protect your heart without needing to be begged. Justice is not just coming, it has begun. And as divine justice sweeps through your life, Archangel Michael gives one more instruction: do not return to the places that tried to bury you. Forgive, bless, release, but do not retreat. What's ahead is too sacred to risk by stepping backward. You are stepping into recompense, restoration, and reverence. And now, heaven says, stand still. The battle is mine. The angelic frequency intensifies around you now. Archangel Michael is preparing your soul for a celestial awakening, one that will change how you see yourself forever. He whispers, you are not who the world told you to be. You are who heaven remembers you as. You were never meant to fit into the molds this world tried to force you into. You were never meant to shrink your voice, dull your light, or compromise your truth just to be accepted by those who were never qualified to judge you in the first place. You are heaven-born. And Michael is here to awaken that identity within you. He shows you an image, your spirit wrapped in robes of radiant light, your name inscribed on a scroll of divine purpose. This is who you truly are, a soul on assignment, a being encoded with divine authority, a warrior wrapped in love. You didn't come here to just survive, you came here to transform everything you touch. Michael says your trials didn't come to destroy you, they came to activate you. Every tear has refined your discernment. Every heartbreak has expanded your compassion. Every setback has sharpened your vision. And now, you are no longer operating from wounds, you are moving in wisdom. This is the turning point. Heaven is activating spiritual gifts within you that had been lying dormant for lifetimes. Gifts of discernment, of prophecy, of healing, of vision, of divine communication. You may begin to notice subtle changes, dreams becoming more vivid, intuition growing sharper, divine signs showing up in unexpected places. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. You are being upgraded in the spirit. Archangel Michael emphasizes, this awakening isn't just for your benefit, it's for those connected to your mission. Your light is someone's breakthrough. Your courage is someone's permission to heal. Your voice is the sound someone's soul has been waiting for. And so, heaven is giving you access, clarity, and protection like never before, not for ego, but for divine impact. But remember this, Michael says, awakened souls attract both divine favor and spiritual resistance. As your light rises, darkness may try to interfere. Old fears, doubts, or toxic energies may try to reattach themselves. Do not fear. You now have the authority to cancel what once controlled you. Speak it boldly, I am not who I was. I walk in divine light. I command peace, I command protection, and I move forward under divine law. You are no longer fighting for your place, you have already been chosen. Archangel Michael now places a sword of light in your spirit, saying, use this not to attack, but to cut away everything that does not serve your divine purpose. The angels are singing. You are awakening. You are remembered. You are rising. Archangel Michael now turns your attention toward the energetic contracts you've unknowingly agreed to, contracts formed through trauma, guilt, fear, and ancestral pain. These spiritual contracts have kept your soul bound to patterns that were never yours to carry. You may have found yourself stuck in cycles of betrayal, abandonment, or scarcity, and wondered why these patterns kept repeating despite all your inner work. Michael reveals, it's because an old spiritual agreement had not yet been revoked. Somewhere in your soul's past, you may have unconsciously accepted the lie that you were unworthy of peace, unworthy of love, unworthy of being seen. But Archangel Michael says, no more. He is now tearing up those false contracts in the spirit realm. He lifts a flaming scroll and declares, by divine authority, I cancel every false agreement that keeps this soul in bondage. They are released from the lies of limitation, fear, and generational guilt. A new covenant is written in the language of light. You may feel something shift in your body right now, goosebumps, a deep breath, a weight lifting. This is real. You are no longer aligned with fear. You are aligned with truth. The truth that you are enough. That you are chosen. That you are protected. Michael reminds you, the spiritual realm operates by permission. What you tolerate, continues. What you revoke, dissolves. And what you declare in alignment with heaven, becomes law. So now, it's time to declare your divine freedom out loud, with boldness. I revoke every spiritual contract that does not serve my highest good. I cancel every agreement with fear, trauma, shame, and unworthiness. I choose divine love. I choose divine identity. I choose divine power. So it is. Archangel Michael nods with divine approval. A new frequency has been released in your life. You will begin to notice subtle but powerful shifts. Relationships that no longer match your energy will fall away. New opportunities will find you without force. Divine timing will accelerate. That which was delayed will suddenly align. This is not magic. This is divine alignment. And Michael warns, do not run back to what you prayed to be delivered from. You are not who you were. Those lower timelines are now beneath your spiritual frequency. To return to them is to reject the miracle you just received. You are being elevated. You're being taught how to walk in your spiritual authority, not just survive spiritually, but to thrive under divine protection. Archangel Michael is standing behind you, and you may feel his presence strongly now, a powerful warmth, a gentle pressure on your back, a tingling in your hands or spine. These are signs of angelic activation. You are not alone anymore. You never were. Now Archangel Michael draws your awareness to a mystical truth very few are prepared to accept. Your divine name is known in the realms of light and darkness alike. You are not invisible. Your light has been noticed. Both heaven and the forces that oppose it are aware of you. And because of this, you've experienced spiritual interference disguised as delays, confusion, or unexplained emotional heaviness. Michael says, the enemy attacks not because you are weak, but because you are important. You carry a spiritual blueprint that threatens darkness. Your healing sends ripples through your bloodline. Your awakening shakes old strongholds. Your prayers aren't just words, they are divine weapons. And that's why the resistance has been so strong lately. But Archangel Michael wants you to hear this loud and clear. You are being fortified for spiritual rulership. This path you're on is not random. The intense emotions, the spiritual warfare, the strange dreams, the energetic heaviness, it's all part of your spiritual training. You are being equipped, not punished. Every soul that ascends must first walk through the valley. And Michael is walking beside you. He now shows you a vision. You are standing in the center of a spiritual battlefield. All around you, energies of confusion, distraction, and fear swirl like a storm. But in your hand, Michael places a sword of divine light. He says, this is the word of truth. Use it. Suddenly, the storm begins to break. You realize now, this isn't about religion or ritual, it's about energetic authority. You're not just meant to survive spiritual storms, you're meant to command peace in the middle of them. Michael reminds you that your words shape spiritual outcomes. Your silence can be consent in spiritual warfare. So speak with boldness. Declare truth when lies whisper in your mind. Break cycles by your conscious intention. Say this now with deep conviction. I am protected by divine authority. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. My name is known in heaven. I walk in light. I command clarity, peace, and divine restoration in every area of my life. Michael's wings now unfold around you, not as a shield of escape, but as a mantle of leadership. He says, it is time. Time to step into your role. Time to lead in spirit, even if the world doesn't recognize your authority yet. This is a spiritual coronation. You are being called into alignment with your true self. A guardian of light. A breaker of generational chains. A bringer of divine truth. Your life is not small. You were chosen to rise. Chosen to heal. Chosen to carry messages of divine power to a sleeping world. From this moment forward, your presence will shift atmospheres. You are a walking portal of divine energy. Archangel Michael is commissioning you not to hide your light, but to radiate it boldly. And so it begins. Archangel Michael now reveals that your next assignment is not a location, it's a vibration. You are being called into a new frequency of divine alignment. This means that certain relationships, habits, and even mindsets will begin to vibrate out of your life, not as punishment, but as purification. He says, what no longer aligns with your sacred frequency must dissolve. Do not mourn the endings, they are making space for holy beginnings. You may feel this as a sudden disinterest in things you once craved. Certain people may distance themselves. Old desires may feel empty. This is spiritual evidence that your soul is rising. Michael speaks clearly, do not chase what God is releasing. And do not resist what heaven is ushering in. You are being refined, not rejected. Now he shows you a symbolic image, a sacred chalice overflowing with golden oil. This is the anointing being poured over your life, a rare divine permission to walk in your purpose with supernatural power. But the oil only flows when the vessel is empty. This is why so many things have been emptied out in your life recently. Emptiness was never the punishment. It was the preparation for overflow. Michael leans in now and speaks directly to your soul. Many will misunderstand your transformation. They will call it distance, arrogance, or madness. But you must not shrink back to make others comfortable with your calling. This season is sacred. Your spirit is being upgraded. Your vision is being expanded. Your sensitivity to energy, emotion, and divine prompting is being heightened. You are not imagining this shift, you are experiencing a holy awakening. And with it comes a deeper spiritual responsibility. Michael says, you must guard your thoughts like gates. You must guard your peace like treasure. You must guard your purpose like a throne under siege. This is not paranoia. This is divine awareness. Your light will attract curiosity, jealousy, and admiration. But remember, your calling is not to entertain others, it's to liberate souls. Michael now directs your attention inward. He wants you to look at your past, not to dwell on wounds, but to recognize your survival. He shows you a map of your soul's journey. The betrayals, the abandonment, the spiritual attacks, each one now marked as a divine initiation. Every heartbreak was a doorway. Every delay was divine timing. Every failure was redirection. He says, you were never behind. You were being prepared in sacred obscurity. And now, you are being unveiled. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your light is reaching people you've never met. Your vibration is affecting timelines you haven't even stepped into. Michael urges you to stay present, grounded, and in alignment with truth. Say this now aloud or in your spirit. I release what no longer serves my highest path. I am aligned with divine timing. I walk with sacred power. Archangel Michael protects me, guides me, and stands beside me as I rise into my calling. A divine portal is opening for you now. Michael confirms, the next chapter will not be like the last. The resistance you faced before will not return in the same form. You have outgrown that cycle. You are not who you were before. You are entering your season of emergence. The air turned heavier as if a divine presence hovered, watching and waiting for your next move. Archangel Michael, in all his radiant authority, reveals that the chains once holding back your destiny are starting to break. But this breakthrough doesn't come without resistance. Spiritual forces of opposition are aware that you are awakening. They are scrambling to block the light about to pour into your life. But fear not, Archangel Michael stands between you and them, his sword aflame with God's justice. In this exact moment, you are not just listening to a message, you are being realigned with your true spiritual path. The timing of this message is not random. It has arrived at the very hour your soul began crying out for release, truth, and clarity. A divine intervention is unfolding, and heaven is actively participating in your awakening. Michael whispers, pay attention to repeated signs, numbers like 111, feathers in strange places, sudden chills. These are not coincidences. They are divine alerts. Now, take a breath. Let yourself receive this power. You're not reading words, you're stepping into a divine moment. The heavenly realm is closer than ever, and the command is clear: stay spiritually alert, guard your energy, and walk with unwavering faith. You were chosen to receive this message today. And if you felt the goosebumps, the chills, the internal nudge, then you already know, Archangel Michael is near. And your transformation has begun. As your spirit aligns with this divine moment, Archangel Michael urges you to begin purifying your space. Cleanse not just your physical surroundings, but your spiritual atmosphere. Negative energy lingers in forgotten corners, old objects holding memories, unresolved emotions hiding in silence, spiritual clutter that weighs down your divine light. Today, you are called to release. Light a candle, whisper a prayer, anoint your doors with intention. These sacred actions will not go unnoticed by the divine forces watching over you. Michael shows a vision, a radiant shield forming around you, constructed by every prayer you've ever whispered in your pain. Those tear-soaked pleas were not forgotten. Each cry added a layer of protection. This shield is now active, glowing, pulsing with celestial light. But he warns, there will be those who try to pierce it with doubt, distraction, and fear. Stand firm. You are not who you used to be. You are stepping into your divine identity now. In this sacred shift, you might notice old relationships falling away, certain opportunities dissolving, or plans being suddenly rerouted. Do not resist. This is divine recalibration. Heaven is removing what no longer serves your elevation. If doors close, it's because greater portals are opening. Michael says, what feels like a loss is heaven making room for divine order. And here something crucial he reveals: your voice carries a vibration that commands spiritual response. Speak protection. Speak favor. Speak alignment. The spiritual world listens when you speak with faith. Let no word be wasted. Say this aloud now: I align myself with divine will. I welcome angelic protection. I release all that does not belong to the light. These spoken words will activate frequencies around you that draw in blessings, clarity, and protection. This is a sacred law of heaven. What you declare in faith becomes your shield. Archangel Michael now directs your attention to your dreams, those silent messages delivered during your sleep. He reveals that many of your recent dreams were not random. They were divine communications cloaked in symbols. The places you visited, the faces you saw, the whispers you heard, these were not figments of imagination. They were coded warnings, divine hints, and spiritual confirmations. He shows an image of someone waking from sleep feeling uneasy, heart pounding, unable to remember the full dream. That was you. And it wasn't just a nightmare. It was a divine alert. Something unseen tried to cross into your spiritual territory while you were resting. But Michael and his legion intervened. That sudden awakening in the middle of the night? That was your soul responding to angelic interference, your spirit being protected in silence. Michael wants you to start honoring your dreams. Keep a journal near your bed. Record what you remember, even fragments. Patterns will emerge. Angels often speak through repetition. A number. A location. A feeling. Pay attention. These details will help you unlock divine timing and prepare for what's coming. And here's something powerful. Before you sleep tonight, speak this aloud with intention: Archangel Michael, stand guard over my sleep. Protect my soul in the realm of dreams. Let only light enter, and may all darkness be cast away. This prayer is a spiritual contract. Once spoken, it activates Michael's watch over your subconscious. Many have ignored this sacred instruction and faced spiritual exhaustion, waking up feeling heavier than before they slept. That won't be your path. You are being trained now to become spiritually alert even when unconscious. The enemy cannot reach you when heaven watches without pause. Your journey into divine awareness is expanding. And Michael wants you to understand this truth deeply: your dreams are your divine classroom. Every symbol is a lesson. Every emotion is a message. Heaven is teaching you in ways the waking world cannot. Now, Archangel Michael unveils the truth about your spiritual lineage, something that has been hidden even from you until now. He reveals that you are not just a random soul navigating the chaos of life. You are part of an ancient spiritual bloodline, one that carries the frequency of divine warriors, seers, and light-bearers. Your soul remembers what your conscious mind has forgotten. He whispers, you are a descendant of those who walked with angels, who stood on sacred ground, who spoke truths that pierced through kingdoms of deception. This is why you've always felt different. Misunderstood. Spiritually intense. At times, isolated. Because you were never meant to blend in, you were born to awaken others. Michael shows you a spiritual map, one woven with golden light, and your name is inscribed on it, not your earthly name, but your divine soul name. That name vibrates across realms. That name is known in places your feet have never walked. And when you speak with truth, when you choose light even in pain, that soul name sends ripples across the angelic dimension. You faced opposition not because you are weak, but because your spiritual DNA threatens the darkness. Curses have tried to attach themselves to your name because the enemy fears your awakening. But now that you know who you are, a divine echo of the original light, you cannot be stopped. And listen closely, some of the hardships you've endured weren't punishments, they were initiations. Tests to refine your spirit. Every betrayal, every rejection, every lonely night, they were fires that forged your soul into something unshakable. Archangel Michael says, what was meant to destroy you has only confirmed your purpose. Now, he asks you to reclaim your spiritual identity. Speak this aloud from the core of your being. I remember who I am. I am a child of light. My spirit is ancient. My purpose is divine. I walk under the protection of Archangel Michael, and no force shall shake me. This is more than a declaration, it's a resurrection. The moment you say it, dormant parts of your spiritual power begin to reawaken. You'll notice it in your energy, in the way people react to you, in the clarity of your thoughts, and in the divine synchronicities that follow. You are being activated. The chains of forgetting are breaking. And Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword drawn, saying, the time of remembering has come. Now Archangel Michael brings your attention to a realm rarely spoken of, a place between time and space known as the Hall of Heavenly Records. This is not a physical location but a vibrational dimension where every soul's mission, karmic path, and sacred contract are stored. And today, for the first time in this lifetime, you are being granted access to yours. He says, you have been living with questions. Why is my life this way? Why do cycles repeat? Why do I feel unseen? The answers lie in your soul's blueprint, and I will reveal it to you now. As he guides your spirit into this realm, you see massive scrolls glowing with celestial light. Each scroll vibrates with truth, and one in particular shines brighter than the rest. It is yours. When Michael opens it, golden energy radiates in all directions, and suddenly, you remember. You remember that you chose to come into this life not to chase the material, but to become a beacon for others lost in darkness. You volunteered to enter a world of chaos so that your inner light could be a signal of hope. You chose challenges not as punishments but as pathways to spiritual mastery. And you selected your soul family, your battles, your gifts, all for a divine purpose. Michael points to your record and says, see here, your soul made sacred agreements. You promised to awaken others through your pain. You agreed to break ancestral curses. You chose to absorb darkness and transmute it into light. This is why your path has not been easy. You've walked through spiritual deserts where others collapsed. You've faced betrayals that cut deeply, not because you are weak, but because your soul is equipped to transform pain into power. And then he reveals something that shakes you to your core. Your name is written beside a seal of divine purpose that few souls ever carry. This seal marks you as a spiritual disruptor, a soul sent to interrupt the patterns of generational bondage, awaken sleeping hearts, and open portals of divine remembrance in others. This is not just a compliment, it is a responsibility. Archangel Michael then places his hand upon your chest, right over your heart. You feel a rush of energy, warm, electric, and ancient. He says, I now activate your divine records in this lifetime. Let all that has been hidden become clear. Let your path be illuminated. Let the real you rise. You may begin to feel things shifting already. Memories from dreams. Visions during meditation. Random messages that feel like divine echoes. Do not dismiss them. These are soul flashes, evidence that your heavenly records have been unlocked. Michael concludes this revelation with a warning and a blessing. Now that you know, you cannot go back to sleep. You must walk with intention. You must speak only truth. You must protect your energy as sacred territory. You are no longer a wanderer. You are an activated soul walking with Archangel Michael as your shield. Your record has been opened. Your mission is now in motion. That if Archangel Michael's words resonated deeply with your soul today, then understand this was not just a coincidence. This was a divine appointment, a call from the heavens to rise higher, walk bolder, and claim your true spiritual identity. Now is the moment to stay connected with messages like this, because the angelic realm is opening faster than ever before, and you're meant to be part of this awakening. Sparkles, so make sure you're subscribed, not just for more messages, but to stay anchored in this divine light whenever the world feels heavy. Dove, and if this message brought you clarity, protection, or power, consider pressing the super thanks button below. Your support allows these sacred transmissions to continue reaching souls who need them most. The angels see your heart. And remember, Archangel Michael walks with you now. Always.